Greetings, thespians and theater goers. Welcome back to the Timberwolf Thespians podcast for episode 2, Acting versus Tech.
Today, we're going to have a special guest, Cyn Cooper, talk about their experiences on both the tech side of a production and acting.
Today, we're talking about the different sides of a production and how it is different to work in each aspect, but specifically acting and tech.
So one thing we're going to talk about today is what our experiences, like personally, do for the tech side of productions here or productions in the past, because I only have high school technical experience. Yeah.
All right, Cyn, do you want to go first and tell us about your experience?
Yeah, I got a lot. I got a lot going on with me. So in terms of, I started theater here at Tomball, so I've been doing costuming for the past, year and a half. So for the past, 6 shows?
Yeah, something like that.
No, I will say 7 shows, because it was after Hamlet Armageddon. So for the past 7 shows, I've been costume designer, so that's been a fun ride. I have ASM'd, I have assistant directed, I have directed, I am doing currently set design, I have propped, I have propped. I have done props. I'm also currently doing sound. I've done a lot. We'll just leave it at that. I've done many a things.
I have done scenic design in high school, set design in high school, vocal coaching. I've actually directed a show. I've assistant directed. I've also done a lot of tech things. What about you, Jackson?
I think I have the shortest and it's kind of funny. It's in my appearance, I have sound in high school and set design in high school. That's where it ends. That's where it ends. That's where it ends.
That's you've done it.
That's experience. So a question that we have for you, Cyn, is how is putting on a show different from an acting standpoint than working behind the scenes in, say, something like costuming or set design?
It is wild, the difference. I know we always say that every actor should do tech once and every tech person should do acting once, but it's true, you definitely should. From an actor, before I did tech, from an acting perspective, actors are blind to everything that's happening behind the scenes. They come to rehearsal, they do their bit, and then they leave, and they literally don't know anything else of what's going on. They kind of just variously see tech people walking around doing things, and me during rehearsal, I've been measuring the set on and off while people are doing their lines and blocking, and it's what's Cyn doing? Who knows? And then in terms of tech people generally know everything that's going on, especially if you're an ASM, an SM, an AD, or are friends of those people who are doing those roles, because they are constantly in contact with the director about everything behind the scenes, right? What the set's looking like, what the sounding like, what the lighting is looking like, what the costumes are looking like, doing measurements, are there conflicts with actors, what's happening? All the things. And so a main difference is knowledge of what's going on, and actors are limited and tech are more involved. And so for me personally, when I went and did a production at another place and was only an actor, had no idea what was going on, it was crazy, because I knew what was happening behind the scenes, but I didn't know what was happening behind the scenes. And then vice versa, doing tech, it's knowing everything. And so I think that whole, I go on tangents, I'm so sorry.
That's perfectly fine.
And kind of add on to that, the reason why it's important for tech people, I'm going to say this specifically for tech people towards actors, because a lot of times what I hear with tech people is they're actors are just dumb and they don't know what's going on and they're just not listening to me and they're blah 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 blah. No, listen to me. Look at my eyes and listen, okay? Actors just don't know what's going on because they don't go to production meetings, right? They're not in the group chat with all the tech people talking about all the things that are happening, right? They're not buddy-buddy with the ASM, and even if they are, the ASM is not going to talk to the actors about everything that's happening behind the scenes, because that's not how you operate between technicians and the actors. And so actors are blind to everything that's happening. And so when tech people get frustrated with actors. It frustrates me because I'm like, the actors literally just don't know. And then also vice versa, actors tend to get frustrated with technicians because technicians are always like giving announcements and saying, don't touch this, don't do that, stop doing this, blah, 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 blah. I feel like actors generally don't understand why technicians are very anxious and I thought the door was opening. Anxiety ridden like during a production because technicians have to do all of this crap behind the scenes for the actors to use, right? So, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really important to know.
Yeah.
Would you say that it's more or less stressful for either side of either acting or tech?
It depends. I feel like I've always been more stressed doing tech than doing acting. Then again, I'm pursuing acting as a career, so acting for me comes a bit more natural. Not naturally, but like I have more fun doing it, doing acting because it's like what I want to do with my life. Not to get weird, but I don't know why I said that. But I feel like acting can be easy. Acting is like the final step of a production, okay?
Yeah.
It's like acting, and actors don't get upset when I say this because it's true. We love you. We love actors. We need actors for plays to happen. But actors are this final step, right? Actors are this clay that we use to mold you into the character you need to be to put on the show. But actors come and go from productions, right? Technicians generally stay at like one theater and do all this stuff for every single show, right? And actors interchange. And that's because actors are this little drop that happens that they fill the space, but technicians do all of the other work of getting the lights ready, getting the sound ready, getting the set ready. Some technicians are doing multiple jobs. I know for the last show that we did, The Birds, which was crazy because I was Diane, I acted, but I was also costume designer and helped with makeup and helped with literally everything else because I also work at this campus. So I generally have my hands in everything because I'm absolutely insane. Oh my god, tangents. Where was I going with this? This is great. I'm doing a great job. The question was which one is harder? I think technician is harder. Just to like as a hard statement, I think technician is harder, right? Because actors, your only job is, and this is out of love, out of acting is not easy, but it's not harder than doing tech because technicians are constantly having to be designers and having their own creative thing, but we also have to follow what the director says, which can be frustrating because you're like, I want to do this thing, and the director is like, no, and it's like, okay, we'll do something else because that's what you want. But as an actor, your main job is to be like, director, tell me what to do, tell me everything I need to do. Also do your own things, but your main job as an actor is to take my phone's buzzing, to take directions, to follow notes, and to memorize your lines. And technicians often get involved way earlier on, too. Like, I've been working on the show for the past month because me and Jill talked about the set way earlier. But yes, technicians. To make a very long explanation short, technicians, I think, is harder.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, because like if you think about it, technicians are like the border piece of a puzzle and it fills in everything, and the actors are the final piece, technically, because they set the grounds for everything. The actors is what brings the characters to light, but like the lights, the sound, everything else, everything that makes the puzzle already has to be done before we can really set it up, and the actors are the final piece.
Yeah. And just to clarify, this is not to say that acting is easy. It's not easy, but it's also not the hardest thing in the world. I think acting is an art, and obviously there are people who dedicate their lives. I would like to dedicate my life to it. Who like spend years training and finessing it and doing all the things. That's great. It's amazing. That's great. But also none of that can happen without all of the technicians to do what they need to do. So yeah. And I think one last thing. I think what happens is that actors and technicians don't interact basically ever, unless they're friends with the people. Unless like it's different in like a high school and like maybe a college because we interact with each other constantly because we're all students of the same program. But like this specifically occurs in like outside of the school where like you're being paid for this kind of stuff. They don't interact like ever. And so whenever actors go to rehearsals, none of the technicians are there, and then technicians are there when none of the actors are there building the set, and the actors are like, "Oh, look, a thing showed up out of nowhere. Cool, I guess I get to use it now." I don't know why I said it like that, but yeah.
That's how actors sound.
Exactly. Yeah.
Pompous assholes.
That's exactly how actors sound. Correct. Yeah. Okay, I swear I'm done now.
So another question we were going to ask you is, do you have a preference on tech or acting?
It's tricky. It's tricky because like for this show I'm only doing tech, but that's also because I'm doing set design, and so I knew that I couldn't do both acting and that, or I would cry every single day of this production. But I mean personally, this is where it gets tricky, okay? Because to get a little deep with me, my passion that like makes me do what I want to do and do what I like to do is that I have a passion for creating art, if you will. And so I'm just as happy doing, I mean, I would prefer doing acting and singing, whatever, but I enjoy doing the tech as much as I do the acting, and I also sing and dance and stuff like that. And so, but overall I prefer acting and yeah, that part. But I like having the knowledge of the technician side. This is where my brain gets conflicted because again, when I went to do Into the Woods at Stageworks Theater, there we go. I was only an actor, and it was kind of frustrating because I was like, what knowledge do they have that I don't? Tell me all the things. Tell me tell me the things that are happening behind the scenes. So yeah. But acting, because that's what I want to do.
I can speak to that because I did acting and tech for Picnic because I was acting as Mrs. Potts and I did sound, so I had knowledge of both sides. Then for the Birds, I only did tech, and it was so weird to not have the knowledge of the acting side. And now I'm only doing acting for Suburbia. And it's so weird not having the knowledge of the tech side. Once you've had it, like,
but I will say though, you do have a little knowledge because me and you talk a lot, but you don't have as much knowledge as you used to.
Exactly. I don't go to the production meetings, so I don't have knowledge of everything that's going on.
Man, I would love to go to those production meetings. Anyway. So yeah.
Okay, so another question also about like tech versus acting. Yeah. Does it depend on also like the show per se?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Does it
your preference?
Yeah, my preference for the show. I would say yes. Obviously, if it's a musical, I want to act and sing in it, like 100%. No matter what it is, like I want to do it. But like, I know for like again for this show, right? I chose to do tech also because like we lost our pack manager, so we weren't gonna have a technical director. So I was like, someone needs to set design. It's gonna be me, because I took stage craft. There we go. Last semester. But it definitely pertains to show, because and this is where like having knowledge of both acting and technical theater is really interesting for me because I can kind of be like, okay, vibe with the show, I'd rather do tech for it, or I really vibe with the show, I'm gonna audition for the acting bit of it. And then sometimes when I'm quasi, I do both, like I did for the Birds. That's also because I had to do costume design. But yeah, it definitely does shift per show, and also just circumstances of life and everything like that.
Yeah,
like schedule and all that.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, because I know of like shows like Sarahstein, which you probably don't know. It's like, well, I like it because it's like it has no words, so like acting in it is kind of bland, but
it has no words.
No, there's no like verbal. It's like all pantomime. It's all like sound based, and like the technical aspect on that, which I looked at a video like a behind the scenes, was very in depth, and it like really got me interested in that. It like that would have been like, some people might have preferred like tech technical because it's like it's all tech to make the story happen,
Yeah.
and it's acting is just like pantomiming and stuff like that. So I can see where like some shows like that where it's like
Mhm.
majority just sounds to display it
Yeah.
would get you interested in tech. Where
Yeah.
shows like a musical, obviously, most people want to act in a musical because it is a musical. So yeah.
Musicals are fun.
Musicals are so fun. I love musicals.
They're a so
lot,
heavy
though.
on the tech side though.
They're a lot though, yeah. Musicals are a lot, but I love them. Yeah.
All right. I think that is our time for today. Our next podcast is on February 23rd, which is the same day as our next drama club meeting.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, President Drama Club right here. What? Crazy.
And Suburbia will be playing March 8th through 10th. And we have a Google form that will be linked in the description of this video to leave topic suggestions and if you want to be interviewed as well. So, yeah, that's our time
You
for today.
probably will see me again.
All right. Bye.